Hey guys, and welcome back to part 3 of the Glock 43 build. In this episode we are going to be doing line work and texturing the frame. Some of the tools that we're going to be using in this video is a straight edge or a ruler, some masking tape to lay out some of our lines, and a wood burner or a soldering iron. So let's get to it.
I'll see you again in the dark side.
Alright guys, so the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to lay out our lines. Now I just want to get a visual of what my pattern is going to look like, so I use a lead pencil and I sketch in the lines on the frame just to get an idea of what the texturing pattern is going to look like before I actually go at it with the soldering iron or the wood burning iron. Using a pencil is the best method because you can always erase and change and modify and make it more to the style that you're looking to get. So another tool that I use is the magnifying lens in order to get a closer view of the work. Now for the long lines, I like to use the straight edge or a ruler just to get some nice crisp long outlines and try to get everything as uniform as possible. So whenever there's a long line or a straight line, just use a straight edge just to keep those lines consistent, because the last thing you want is wavy lines on your pattern. It's not going to look good on the work, and what you want is uniformity. You want everything to look professionally done. Now I know in the video it looks like I'm going really fast. I actually speeded up the video to 4 times the speed that you're actually looking at just to make the process go a little bit faster, but in reality it does take its time, and that's why these companies charge so much to do this work, because a lot of time is consumed when you're texturing a gun. People don't realize it until they actually try to do it themselves, but it is a time consuming process. The most important thing is to get your outlines done correctly, because the line work is everything in this job. So next I'm getting some acetone, and I use the acetone to degrease the frame in order to use some masking tape and make my borders for the bottom of my grip. I want to get some even borders all the way around, so I'll get my ruler and I'll measure out each side as I mask it just to make sure that I'm getting the same exact length on the border on each side. Once I got the masking tape laid out, I measured everything, make sure that it's even on both sides. Then I go very slowly with my soldering iron and I start making my border. Now you want to take your time doing the borders because you want to make sure that everything comes out straight. The masking tape will help you keep those borders straight, but if you do it in a hurry, the masking tape isn't going to do much. It's more there as a guide than anything else, but you need to be careful that you're not pushing against that masking tape, because that line is going to be all jagged, and what you're trying to keep is a straight edge. Alright, so the next thing I do is the border around the Glock logo. Now this you are going to have to do it freehand. You really can't mask it off I wouldn't recommend masking it off. Just take your time and go around the border slowly and try to get as straight of an edge as you can. Just take your time. It's a tedious process, but you know the outcome is well worth it. Some areas, as you can tell, I use the straight edge. In other areas I'll go freehand. It's a little bit of both. Whatever edges I can do with the straight edge, I will take advantage and I'll do it with the straight edge just to get that crisp line. But some areas that are like curved and have a funky curve to it, I wouldn't recommend the straight edge because it's not going to come out very nice. So just take your time for those curved areas and do it freehand. As long as you take your time, you'll get those edges right and it will look good. It's just be patient and take your time and do it slow. A little side note I wanted to add in here. Your border work is primarily your biggest concern when doing these projects. If your border work looks crappy, the rest of your work is going to look just as bad. So you want to concentrate and take your time, if anything else, on your border work because that is what's going to give the clean look to your project. So concentrate, take your time, but make sure overall you make that border as clean as possible because it will influence the rest of the look on the firearm. Alright, so now we get to the main event, which is texturing the whole frame. Now, this is fast forwarded about 5 times the normal speed. And even that way, it does take its time. You don't want to put too much pressure. You don't want to go random. I try to keep everything as uniform as possible because it just looks nicer at the end. Whenever you get like these bumps and curves, it just takes a little bit more time because you got to work around that. But taking your time is the name of the game here. You just want to make everything as neat as possible, as concentric as possible, because it will add to the finished results. Now, it does take a long time, so just take a rest whenever you feel like you're getting overwhelmed with this. Um, Stand up, walk around, stretch out, but it is tedious. So a lot of patience goes into play in this, but you'll see in the end. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it. You repeat the process on the other side, take your time, try to go one direction with the dots, and these are the finished results. I hope you like this video. As always, I'll put a link down in the description to all the tools that you need to do this process. And if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe and keep up to date with the other videos that we release on the channel. And on the next video, we will be doing a trigger job to complete this package. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.